Okay, here we go. We are like 2 days away from launch, which is crazy. Hi, Jen. Hi, Carla. So I think the call will be short and sweet, but I did want to, I know there's a lot of first-time people, so if we want to open it up for questions, I can answer some that I can or let you veterans answer. So did you guys all download the app? Did you see my post?
Yes.
And if not, it's just a quick download. So that's going to be most of the stuff. I don't need to go over day by day. It's pretty simple. It'll lay out your schedule. What I like about this year, it used to, hey, babe, can I give you this, baby? Say bye, guys.
Hey,
Bye. So they used to have it broken up where you would go half to one day and then everyone would swap. So it's similar in terms of you have a general session in the morning. Those are going to be the big speakers, the Brendan Bouchard, some of the top coaches, that kind of stuff. And then in the afternoon, that's where we go for the private sessions where we picked, I think it was Hall E, I can't remember, where we picked this sort of breakout session. So that's kind of how that's going to work. I put the address for the team party. So actually, you know what? Let's do walk through each day, just so you guys can kind of get a feel. So Wednesday, the check-in is open. So if you're flying in, is that Peter? It's being a sass. We see you. So Wednesday, the check-in is open all day. So if you fly in on Wednesday, I highly recommend getting your stuff and checking in. I think it's open till 10, so even if you fly in and go grab your stuff, because it just gets crazier and crazier, that's where you'll get your wrist passes, your lanyard, the stuff that'll get you into your workouts, all of that. They're pretty strict about, it's not like, oh, I have a Shanti workout, but I think I want to go to Shalene instead. They check the wristbands, they're hardcore, so whatever you have. And there's a place called Fix It, so if something is wrong, you have the wrong rank or the wrong lanyard or the wrong ribbon or whatever, the Fix It is really helpful. So recommend getting to the check-in as soon as you can. And then for those of you that are in on Wednesday night, Carla set up a ghost tour. I think it's 8 p.m. And then, so that's that night. And then shenanigans will ensue after the ghost tour, of course. Thursday, there's nothing unless you have a workout. I know Ann said she wanted to work out, so there's a few things going on that day. There's a Shift Shop test group at the Ritz-Carlton, so I'm going to go to that. It's like they didn't actually rent the Ritz. It's literally in a courtyard, so it's free, but it's at the Ritz. And then the team party is that night, Thursday at 4:30. So that'll go from I think we have it reserved from 4:30 to 7:30. But my guess is we're going to want to leave around 7, if not a little before, to get over to the place for the celebration ceremony, because it's always sort of everyone shows up at once. I'm hoping we can all sit together, so we'll just kind of get there and see if someone can reserve a row. Oh, should we do that app we did, the WhatsApp that we did last year, you guys? The group app? Okay. What was it, WhatsApp? Is that what it's called? You remember, guys? WhatsApp? Okay. So what?
It was WhatsApp.
Okay, cool. So download that, and then I'll start let me write that down. When I'm on the plane on Wednesday, I'll start a group. We'll have a group thread, and it's really nice because it doesn't show up like a text thread. It's just a little chiller, but that way we can be okay, I got us a row at section 235, whatever. So I'll make a little text thread. Okay. Were you going to say something?
A photo. We can build a photo sharing.
Oh, yeah, and if you have an iPhone, we'll do a photo sharing. I'll do that, too. I love doing that, because Brian Jackson needs that because he makes those videos. Photo sharing folder. Okay, so those are the two things on Mama Jules' list. So opening ceremony is usually from 8 to 10. There'll probably be some fun launches and stuff at the opening ceremony, so that'll be really cool. Friday and Saturday are full days. So that's when he's the best husband. Friday and Saturday are full days. Those are going to be your workshop training days. And I'll kind of talk about, I have some tips and some mindset stuff for not going crazy at Summit, not going cuckoo. You want to go crazy in the good way, but not in the bad way, which can happen. So the workouts start at 6, whatever workout you chose. And then the workouts are around 45 minutes because they try to get people filtered in. So the general session doesn't start till 9:30. So it sounds like there's a big chunk of time, but it's probably just enough time to take a quick shower, get some breakfast, and get back. But that's at least like you don't have to go to the workshops in your sweaty clothes unless you want to go in your sweaty clothes, which I wouldn't judge, and I've done it before. So you'll have the general session from 9:30 to I think it's 12 or 12:30 that day, and then you'll have a nice big lunch break. You can either go get lunches, or if you got the box lunch, there'll be a place to pick them up. You'll have vouchers when you check in, like a little like meal ticket kind of a thing. And then that night, if you have any parties, I can't remember. I don't think I'm going to any of the parties. So if you have a Success Club party or a Leadership Ladder party or something like that, I'm free. So I'll be out on the town. But I will be in bed at 8 p.m. also. And then Saturday is pretty much the same. 6 a.m. is the super workout, which you really don't want to miss. I know that sometimes it feels like, oh, like you're gonna be tired. It's early, but it's like nothing you've ever seen. Like it's freaking crazy to see 20,000 people working out at once. So don't miss that. Then same thing, you have a couple hours to shower, eat breakfast, get back. The general session that day is from 9:30 to 1. So again, that's going to be in the bigger arena where they're going to have some speakers and some training. And then from 3 to 5, again, is our like breakout session training. And then that night is the celebration ceremony at 8:30. The celebration, I think, is one of my favorite parts because they do the winner for the $1 Million Body. Well, it's not the $1 Million Body, the Beachbody Challenge winner. And so they go through like each age category, their stories and their weight loss transformation. And it's so, so cool. And they do that at the end as they announce the $100,000 winner. And then they'll announce where Summit is next year, all of that kind of stuff. So that is the agenda. Any questions about like what's on the day-to-day? Just like the schedule.
How early do you go for the workouts? Because I was reading people were in some of the groups on Facebook were saying like, oh, you have to get there at like 3 a.m. I'm like, that's
I won't. I will never do that. I don't care.
Just go at a normal time, like head there, leave at 5:30 to get there.
I mean, yeah. Here's the thing, and this is one thing I was going to talk about: is these Beachbody coaches are crazy. So there will be people there at 3 a.m. and they will be in the front row. But you know what's funny is a lot of times they have VIP or Elite or something is in the front row already. So for me, it's like they have these big screens, like that panic. Unless you're like dying to see Shanti up front, which in that case.
That quick.
Yeah, just get up and go in the middle of the night. But no, Sarah, you do not have to do that. Because but you know, if that's like your trainer and that's a person you want to try to see them, then yeah. But you have the wristband, you registered for it, which means you don't have, it's not like you're not going to make it in. You know?
Okay, that's kind of what I was wondering.
Yeah, you paid for it, you get to go. So,
I don't need to.
Lisa said, yeah, party in the back. There's a little more space in the back. People aren't like, it just ends up, people get all like kind of push you and it's weird. Okay. Any other questions about the schedule or making it to anything and I haven't actually looked at the map. I know we're all like, it's all close. The Superdome or like wherever the general sessions and the breakout sessions, they're not right next to each other. So that's a change from what it was in Nashville. They were like across the street. They're further away. So if you're going to Uber or walk it or do your lunch or whatever, just make sure you have time for transportation. But I believe they built that into the schedule. There's more padding. It's not like.
Yeah, I know. I haven't tried them, but.
And then Chad said, volunteered to set up our own. Let's have Ann Tully talk about lunches after because she can guide us where to go. I did the box lunch because I'm basic and I just like to know what's happening. So, but Ann can walk us through food because she's the NOLA expert. Okay. So the other things besides the schedule I wanted to talk about were just some sort of mindset things. So this will be my 5th summit. And I have learned so much every time I go, obviously from the coaching perspective. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm going to mute us really quick because someone background noise. Okay. What I learn most is how I learn. So what I want you to do is there's a lot of energy at this event, which is so cool, right? Because Beachbody coaches are really excited about what they do. They're enthusiastic, they're optimistic, and they're a touch crazy. And I think that it's just heightened because everyone is just like on this high. And so I recommend some meditation in the morning and night. And let's just be the team that's just kind and cool and like chill, because it's exciting, but that energy can read a little frenetic. Like people just are sort of heightened. And I also think this is one thing I've noticed that I've learned over the years of going is I think it's a little vulnerable sometimes. Like I think we go and we're like, oh, like look at all those people making all that money, or look at that girl with that really cool body, or they're all fancy and I'm not where I want to be. Like stuff like that, it can really be sort of a mind trip. And I don't say that so you guys start thinking that, but that's going to happen naturally. I always have people come to me that cry. I cry. Like it just kind of breeds a lot of emotions and you're tired. So here's some tips to sort of combat that and stay grounded. So the first one is during the sessions, I think it's really, it's normal and everybody will do it. Someone will come on stage or something will get announced and everyone does this and they're videoing and they're freaking out. Don't do that, because here's the thing. The first summit I went to, I recorded literally everything. And did I ever go back and watch it? No. And because I was behind my screen and recording it, I didn't actually listen as well. So like this, I will tell you this, Beachbody is going to record everything. So if there's something you want, if there's something really big or it's special and you want it, by all means, and I don't want to tell you what to do. That's just what I found stresses me out. So Beachbody will record everything. So if there's something you want to share with someone else or post on your social media, they will have it all. And so staying present when you're listening to something, because I can tell you what, I had all these recordings of all these product launches. Like I'm not going to post them all on my Facebook. Like it doesn't work like that. So be cool in that sense. And then another tip, and I did this at the Dominican Republic and it really helped because I really wanted to be present during the trip. And I felt like that was so much more important to actually experience it when I was going to go talk about it. And so at nighttime, or like if I got a lunch break or something where I was away, I would sort of schedule in my notes section of my phone just some heartfelt posts. But I didn't do it during the learning because it would take away from my learning. Like number one was for me to just be present and hear what I'm supposed to hear, right? So if you have some time either before or you're on the plane, some of it you'll have to do while you're there because it'll be like, what you're actually feeling while you're there. You can't like pre-post and say, oh, I'm loving this thing if you don't, but that night, maybe that's a great tip is like go home that night and in your room, maybe you guys all have 20 minutes of quiet time to schedule some posts to get some heartfelt messages ready. But that way you're not always on your phone during the learning. Cool. And then, so that'll help you be a little more present. And I think that another thing I did at so many summits was I'd have my notebook and I would write down everything everyone was saying. And what I learned was like, if I listened a little bit more, again, it's the same message. The things that I'm supposed to hear, I will hear. And the things that aren't relevant to me, I can let go, right? And the things that jump out at you, write down, but don't feel like you have to get everything on paper or that you have to do every system, right? Because there's people that do things hundreds of different ways and you're going to hear that. And there's an instinct to feel like, well, I should do that instead of what I'm doing. If you're doing something that's working, don't change it. If you feel like it's the right thing, implement it. Great. And then the last tip is to leave, like if you're bringing a paper notebook, leave like the first 5 or 6 pages blank. And what I like to do is throughout the sessions, as I'm writing my notes, if I find something that I'm like, oh, I can take action on that, like here's something I want to actually implement in my business or do or take home, I write that in the front of my notebook. So that way, like when I'm home, I can be like, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, like she talked about this morning, she said, go back and read your notes, which is a great tip because sometimes you leave Summit and feel like, oh, like I got all this information, where do I start? So I feel like if you can find some things that you're like, I actually want to implement that. That's a to-do. That's a thing that I can bring into my business. Write them down in the front. I think that's all I had for mindset. Just remember that. You'll hear what you're supposed to hear. Just be cool. And be kind to everybody. Everyone at Summit, like I said, egos are running. People are feeling insecure. Give someone a smile, a hug, a handshake. Like we're all family and nobody needs to be up against each other. And if someone treats you that way, know that it's their insecurity and they're just feeling a little vulnerable. So let's give them lots of love. Because I think we've all been there where we're like, feel a little funky at Summit. So yes, always, always be kind. We just don't know what kind of battles people are fighting. So, okay, let's move on to Anne. Anne, do you want to talk about lunches, ideas for lunches? And then if you guys have other questions, type them in the comment box and then we'll circle back to that.
Hey guys, so for those of you who don't know, I lived in New Orleans for several years and we still own a home down there. So it's kind of a second home to me and I go regularly. So my thought was, I know a lot of the out of the way lunch places. I'm going to shoot out as soon as lunch starts and go grab local food. So anybody who wants to go is welcome to go with me. I know most of the places that'll get us through fast, and I know which places maybe a little bit longer walk from where we are, but we can get the food quickly. And, you know, a little more taste of New Orleans than the box lunch. So anybody who wants to join me, that's cool. We'll have the, I know Julia's going to set up the WhatsApp app, which is really helpful for connecting. And we can kind of go from there in terms of figuring out lunch.
Cool. Well, yeah, Anne will know the off the beaten path places. Because it's like if you can go it's a little further, but you can sit and actually sit and not be with 17,000 people, then that's good. Yeah, gumbo. Yum. Oh, you know what I forgot to say at the team party? So Megan and I paid for a bartender. So he'll be there, but it's a cash bar. So it was like a weird thing. We had to like pay for him to be there. And we are doing Mashup Team Party with Megan and Allie. If you guys don't know them, they're darling. They both live in New York, and we sort of met, I don't even know how we met, through mutual friends, but they do theater and I do theater, and they have a really fun, sweet, amazing team, and we just thought it was just really tricky and hard to find places like without like a $5,000 minimum. So we teamed up and we're going to have our team party with them. So I hope that's okay. We're kind of like, we feel like we have sister teams. So, so it will be, so your dinner's all paid for and you don't have to tip for the dinner. But if you do want drinks, it's a cash bar. I'm assuming cash bar means also credit cards, but just in case, I would assume that. But cash bar meaning just the drinks will be separate. Does that make any sense? Okay.
And don't forget, guys, New Orleans is an open container city. So anywhere you go, you can have open containers. So bear that in mind if you go out to dinner any night and say there's a bottle of wine that looks delicious, but they don't have it by the glass. They actually will put the cork back in the bottle and you can take it out with you.
Good to know. Good to know. Anything else? The core is crazy. Oh, I was going to say there is, Beachbody surprised us. There's a little bit of volume attached to the new apparel, which means a few things. Like if you have a team that's buying some stuff, I mean, it's not very much. It's a small amount of volume, but I think that it was a big gesture for them to give that to us because they weren't originally, and it's through a third party, so it's expensive to make the apparel, and I don't think the apparel is cheap, but it looks super, super cute. But what that means is either as your team starts to buy it, that's a cool another way to build some residual volume, but it's also going to be for sale for your customers, and that's another way that you can earn commission. So I think they're really onto something. The stuff I've seen is super cute. But know that you don't have to go broke in the core. Like, it will be there later, and if it's not, just don't have FOMO. Like, the first time I went, I spent $500, and I will not be doing that again because I just was freaking out, and I felt this panic, and I had to buy all these things, and now I have plenty of Beachbody things. I do want the new shoes, though. So that's a good thing. So I do recommend buying some of it. So if you want to talk about it, and if you've got customers or coaches that want to buy it, that's another stream of revenue for you, even for your customers. Is kind of fun and a totally new way to reach people that's not the same stuff we've always been selling. So I think that's cool. And I heard a whisper of some other things that sound real cool. So my guess is they'll reveal them throughout the weekend and maybe even all of them the first night. So will they be discounted? So you know what, Chad, the guys stuff sometimes is that the newer stuff won't be. It'll be full retail. But there's a lot of times there's sale racks in the back, so don't miss those. And throughout the weekend, they even go on more sale. Like last year I got Brian a couple shirts for like $4 or $5, like cool T25 golf shirts, especially for the dudes. And ladies, you can check out the clearance too. They'll have like older stuff on clearance. for customers to buy from the core. Yeah, it'll just be through the website unless you want to buy them for them, but I don't know what the markup is. So yeah, it's supposed to go on Team Beachbody after Summit. I don't know the exact date, but yeah, you'll be able to sell it to your customers. So what else? I'm trying to think if we missed anything. When does everybody
Bring a jacket for inside.
jacket for oh yes, it does get cold inside. You're right, because you're in the air conditioned. I didn't even think of that. Thank you. When does everybody leave? Sunday, Monday? Because we could always, if people are in town, we could do a brunch or something on Sunday. But we can get to that. Getting babies.
I have a question. It said in the bag policy you can't bring outside food into the Superdome, like as far as snacks, like, if you want to snack during the day. So what are our options? Do you know if there's snacking?
That's a policy of the venue. It has nothing to do with Beachbody.
Oh. Okay.
It might, like last year, they had that same rule, but
like that, but that's about the extent of it.
Will you say that again, Anne? I was cutting you off.
In the past, I've been able to sneak in like a Power Bar or a Lara Bar or something like that because they're doing a quick bag check, but don't plan to bring in a lunch. They'll take that.
Well, yeah, I wasn't going to bring like a lunch, but I was thinking like a Lara Bar or something.
Yes, small like that you can usually get away with because they don't care that much. They just don't want to miss out on the concession opportunities.
Totally. I understand that, but
And, sometimes it'll be strict like that, and then Beachbody will have finagled something, and they say you can bring, because they know, these are all a bunch of health coaches, and they'll usually have something open inside. It's not like the best snacks, but, like they might have something for sale. So if you just plan around and have a big old meal before, and then we go out after. Not ideal. At the
something like that. I already have them kind of packed, so I figured I wanted to see what else it was.
You were breaking up. Will you say that once more? Oh, I don't know if Honey's still there. She might be frozen, but yeah, I was going to talk about the Shakeology bar, the second half of the day. Oh, Honey, can you hear us now? Okay. At the second half of the day, there's a Shakeology bar. So if you want to get that as a snack, it's just in the Superdome. I don't think you can do that, or whatever it is called. So bring a battery pack. Oh yeah, that's a great tip, Zuli. If you have an extra phone charger battery pack thing, because hopefully we won't be videotaping everything, right? But if you want to, and your phone might die because you're on it and we're finding each other, that's a super good tip. What else? Carla, am I missing anything? Amy, Lynn, Lisa, and Zuli?
Say that, can you hear me?
Yeah.
That you're looking really good there, lady. Got your off-the-shoulder look. You're looking fit and trim. You look good.
Thanks, Carla.
Yeah. I know. I can't wait.
It's so good.
Yeah.
We should, while we're there, we should have a powwow about Shift Shop. Brian starts rehearsals for a show, so we're not going to do ours until August 7th, which is later than you guys probably want to do, but I just wanted to talk about Shift Shop in general, so we can brainstorm while we're there. Who else? Who's been, and what am I missing? Or is there anything, just insight, wisdom you want to share?
Don't wear sandals in New Orleans.
No? How come? It's just slippery.
Well, I mean, things like Bourbon Street is really gross. So it's just kind of a place, and I love sandals, don't get me wrong, but New Orleans is the one place I won't wear them.
Good to know.
Oh, so what's your suggestion?
I wear sneakers.
Yeah.
Like
It'll be a ton of walking. And the other thing is, don't forget, a lot of the streets in New Orleans are actually brick and cobblestone and have been there for, 150, 200 years. So things are not real even.
Okay.
Chad says, how long should we give ourselves to get from the hotel to venues? Way longer than you think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it depends on where your hotel is and stuff, but it just always takes. And And I will say, part of not feeling panicky is having a seat when things start. There's nothing that is not, like, it's not fun when something's starting and you're like feeling like you're missing out and trying to find a seat. So arrive very early if you can. And then if you are late, just chill out and find a seat and just sit. What else? Danielle, what am I missing? Anything? I think we covered it all. Is that helpful? So you just kind of know the lay of the land. And I wish I could say a little bit more. Like, it was so simple when we went back to Nashville the second time. I kind of knew. So I don't know what it's going to feel like traveling from one place to the other. So I'd say we'll all just have to put on our patience pants, be together when we can. And yeah. Hi, Miss Peyton. Got all the babies. Okay, well then I'll let you guys go if we don't have any other questions. And if you think of anything, post it in that page. And I'm so excited to hug you guys. This couldn't have come at a better time, I think, for all of us. I think this is, I'm really looking forward to it. So, yay. Okay, have a great night. See you guys so soon.
Okay, bye.